I was at a tough part of my golfing life, shooting 100, struggling to break 90, and then I changed my takeaway and it dropped 20 shots off my golf game. What we're looking at is this really small part of the swing right here, the first few feet off the ball. That's called the takeaway. It's where the club's parallel with the ground. My takeaway can determine how I get to the top of the backswing, how I start my downswing, how I get to impact. Your takeaway is almost like the lifeline of the golf swing. So how you start can determine how you finish. My takeaway used a lot of hands back in the day, a lot of hands and arms, and that would cause the club face to rotate, would cause the club to go off path, and sometimes I didn't even know where the club was. So you can imagine why the ball was going all over the place. Sometimes I'd even hit the hosel too, and I didn't like that feeling. Nobody wants that. What changed it all for me was taking out the hands in the first part of the golf swing and replacing it with more of a body move. And since I was such a roller, it felt crazy. I wanted the club to go back on a path like this. I wanted the club more out in front of the hands or in line with the hands. And I was tired of the club getting behind me so early. Another thing that happened was I would take my arms and I would try and rush my swing back off the ball. So my swing was more arms and hands, but not using the body. When I switched to using more of a body motion, the club would take the same path every time. And if you're taking the same path here, you got a better chance of getting the same path throughout the rest of the golf swing. So how did I start using my body? Well, I had to tell my hands, shh, be quiet. Another thing I had to do was make sure my right arm and elbow was higher than my left. See, when I took the club back with my hands and arms, a lot of times my left elbow would get higher than my right, or even with it. And then from there, it was game over. It wasn't gonna work. So when I focused on getting the right elbow higher than the left, all of a sudden I felt the body engage. I wasn't feeling anything with my hands. So the club face down here was staying nice and square. It wasn't changing angles. And when I figured that out, I got the face square and I was using more of this body feeling, the ball was going straighter because I didn't have to control my club face so much in the swing. If your swing is a lot of hands, you have to control the face a lot more. But when you take the hands out of it, the ball goes straighter. So here's a quick example of my old swing. Looks something like that. I don't want to go back to that. But a lot of hand action in the first part. And the ball started curving away from me, as you saw. But when I started doing right arm higher than left, I could hit it straight. Predictably straight. And the impact was a lot more compressed, meaning it just felt buttery on the face. It felt weird to me at first because the club was more out in front of me. This wanted to be down here, so I was feeling like it's so much higher. But you can hear the strike with that. And the impact position, the hands are ahead where you want them, the weight's forward, and you're feeling the ball in the center of the face. I was no longer hitting the toe or the heel of the club because of all of this extra stuff I used to do in the first part, rolling it, taking it too straight back, trying to figure out where to put the club. I said, if I just put the arm up here higher, I don't have to think about all that. And then straight again. Then I would take it up to a fuller swing. So going here and then figuring out, how do I get to the top? So a lot less work. It was like, I'm here, I'm at the top. What do I do with my hands? Nothing. Because I didn't do anything with my hands here, I kept the club face square, I can just keep swinging back with my body, and I'm square at the top. It means it's going to go straight because I'll get it square at impact without having to do anything with the hands. This brings me to why I see a lot of golfers struggle. It's because they're doing too much with the hands. A lot of times they're trying to control the club face mid-swing, manipulating the hands, manipulating the face, manipulating maybe the arms, trying to control every little piece. But then when you realize that you don't need to control every piece, you just need to control the right pieces. That's when the golf swing gets really consistent and much easier for you. That's when you start seeing shots drop big time. So we'll start taking this right elbow concept up a little higher. I feel like I do it about halfway back. Now you don't want to go past this point, keeping the right arm higher, because you'll end up getting more of this chicken wing across the line feel, but it's a great takeaway feeling. So we're talking 3 feet here, then you can do the rest of your swing. You just have to do 3 feet. That's what I'm talking about. And it's laser straight. I'm so much more confident in my swing now than I was then. And we're talking back when I was in high school and stuff. So much more confident now because I knew that if I had it square here, it was coming right back to square. I felt like it was on autopilot. I felt like I had so much control that I could step up to the tee and almost know where the ball is going to go. And that's a feeling you'll never forget when you start learning how to do that. Another straight one, almost hit the bird out there. I don't really think about too much else, trying to keep that arm higher. If it ever changed on me, and I would take video of my swing, you should video your swing. If it ever got level, I was in trouble. That's when I saw some weird things happen in my swing. My body stopped working. So the next part I want you to do with this, we're continuing on getting you to drop about 20 shots, because it can happen. Thinking the body gets pulled around versus hands and arms. So once you start the right arm being higher, you should feel the hips start to turn, but most importantly, the left shoulder going down. That's so key right there. Versus that. Hand rotation, no relationship to the ball. I got a relationship to the ball here, shoulder down. There's the ground. I can strike the ground. You know, that's the feeling we all want. Hit the guy. I bet he didn't know that was part of the video. He's gonna say, hey, you kids playing golf again, get off my lawn. You know, you'd swear this was part of the video. It was all choreographed, but it's not. There it is again, straight. Loving how consistent this is. There it is again. There it is again. Why? Because we set it automatic in the first part of the golf swing. And then I feel the body get pulled around, I feel the left shoulder going down. That's when you start seeing shot after shot after shot is nice and crispy. Pulling that shoulder down. There's my backswing. Keeping the hands so quiet, right arm above the left. You're gonna love it. That's what's going on in my SagutoGolf online golf school. Students are coming in, building their swing step by step, to hit crispy shots like that, time and time again. It's so much fun. Seguto golfers, thanks for tuning in today. Keep that right arm above the left, and you're going to see some delicious strikes with the golf ball. I look forward to seeing you in a future episode. Have an awesome week.